Hi folks, Mr. P here. I just wanted to come on and give you a wee follow-up from the work that we did earlier on for the measuring tasks. So after school we measured the actual weight of all the stuff that we got, and I just wanted to show you my table when it was finished. Now I've tidied my table up a little bit earlier on because I decided the one that I'd drawn was a little bit messy. So I'll show you the finished table now. So we used a soap, shampoo, a cup, some cheese, pack of cheese, tin of beans, the pasta. We used a jar of jam, we got a shoe, we got a carton of milk, a kind of medium-sized carton of milk, and a frying pan. Okay, so we guessed 100 grams for the soap, 140 grams for the shampoo, 200 grams for the cup, 250 grams for the cheese, 480 grams for the beans, 510 grams for the pasta, 600 grams for the jam, 650 grams for the shoe, 850 grams for the carton of milk, and 1000 grams for the frying pan. Now when we were doing these, what we did is we held the pasta or the beans in one hand, and then we held the other item in the other. So let's say if I was to hold this plug, and I was to hold, let's say, this little bit of scrap paper that I've got here. Okay, it's just a tiny little bit of scrap paper, nothing to it. I can feel in my hand that this is heavier than the paper. The plug is heavier than the paper. So I'm going to think, okay, I know that the plug's heavier than the paper, but that doesn't give us anything to compare it with. But if we were to take the can, and I've already known that that is about 500 grams. This one was 424 plus the tin. Now I know that that's 400 and something grams, nearly 500 grams. So I know that it's much heavier than this plug. Now, is it twice as heavy as the plug? Is it 3 times? It's maybe even 4 times heavier than the plug. So I might guess that that plug was about 100 to 150 grams. I'm using the thing that I know the weight of as my guide to help me do my estimating. Okay, I hope that's clear. So then we actually got the scales out and we weighed them, and we weren't bad with some of them. The soap wasn't far away. We got the shampoo quite wrong. The cup we were really close with. The cheese we were really close with. The beans, obviously, because we've already looked at that. Same for the pasta. Then we got to the jam, and we were a good bit out with that one. The shoe we were a good bit out with as well. I think we got that one wrong because it was such a big item. It was one of my walking boots, and we just thought because it was so big it would be heavy, but it wasn't. I suppose a lot of a shoe or a walking boot is full of air where your foot goes, so there's not actually that much weight in it. And then the frying pan was really quite heavy. So we got the differences and we figured them out, and then we wrote the correct order. So number 1 was the lightest. The second lightest was number 3, which is the cup. The next lightest was number 4, which was the cheese. Then it was the shampoo. Then it was the jar of jam. Then it was the beans. So the beans were actually slightly heavier than the jar of jam. Then we had the pasta. So these were all jumbled up, but we got the last 3 in a row correct. Maybe because they were bigger and heavier items, we're not sure, but we got them right in terms of they're in the correct order. So that's where we got to. And then we said, well, what do we actually learn here? So I spoke to the kids, my own kids, about that, and they said we use grams to weigh small or light things because we would use kilograms for things that are heavier. We found that estimating weight can be difficult, which is quite right. It is quite difficult to actually estimate an actual number, but it's easier with heavier things. So what I'd like you to do, if you haven't done already, and if you've still got your original piece of paper, if you could try and complete your table the best you possibly can, and then do a little bit of what I've learned based on this exercise, and maybe jot that down at the side somewhere or on a separate piece of paper and submit that in to me in the Google Classroom, that would be great. Thanks folks.